Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance, and this is a Hummel, the Tier 6 German SPG, and we're on the south spawn of Siegfried Lines. Now the commander of this Hummel is Angelina75, and she's a friend of Talon 1958, and I mistakenly believed that it was actually Angelina who was driving the GW Panther in a previous video, but it wasn't Angelina, it was Talon who was actually driving it. But battle is off and Angelina's moving. Now the Hummel has the 15cm gun, and this is the top gun, the long one. Not the same gun as on the Grilla, the slightly better. It's got a higher velocity but a lower trajectory. And she's setting up in a bush, extending aim. There we go. It could do that quicker with the right hand mouse button on the mini map. That would help take you directly to the target straight away. Now that Hellcat's moving very rapidly, but the FV207 did fire at the Hellcat and managed to get a stun. And no, Angelina got the stun, sorry. Beg your pardon. Okay, and that Hellcat's been taken out. It was taken out by the Tiger 2. So she's picked up some stun assistance. She didn't actually get a direct hit, but she did enough to stun it, and she picked up 570 hit points of stun assistance. That's pretty good going, that is. And that's just from a near miss. Oh, that round, oh no, it's a little further away. Wasn't completely dialed in, but two targets here, a defender and a 3601H, and unfortunately she's got a red line, which means obviously there's some obstruction in the way. I think it's a building, but she hasn't got a red line there, she's got a green line there, so she can fire there. She's indicating the target, almost dialed in on the almost completed loading. Round out, and it lands just behind, but it does splash the 3601H, and I think it would have stunned him. Okay, some more enemy out in the field. M4A3E2. As it says on the side of the tank, first in Bastogne. That was the tank that actually made it into Bastogne to relieve the besieged Americans of the 101st Airborne. Rounds out. And she hit it! That was a good direct hit. Shell disappeared, no explosion. Definitely got the target. And she's going back to the M4. You can see it's still stunned. So the Hummel's got a very flat trajectory with the top gun, so that shell was very likely to overshoot. Okay, there's a whole bunch of enemy, and they're on the gates, or the front of the city, on the 5 and 6 line, on the street right at the front near the gates. Almost loaded. Rounds out, and she stunned the KV-3. The T-25-2 had actually pulled back by then, so she didn't hit that, but she's definitely got a stun assist. In fact, she's picked up 429 hit points of stun assist. And there's the defender, and the defender's coming behind those 3001B and the Tiger 2. And she can hit the defender. Rounds out. Oh, it stuns the defender, but it hit the building behind him. That's unfortunate. That's RNG, I'm afraid. Going after the KV-3, the defender's pulled away. I think he's reloading though. He might be back, but the T-25 and the KV-3 are together. It would be worth firing at the KV-3, because if the T-25 pulls up alongside him, you'll get both at the same time. And that round does 206 hit points of damage to the T-25 too. It overshot the KV-3 and splashed the T-25 and tracked him. In fact, tracked both sides of him. And he's taken out. So she picks up some stun assistance off that, 139 as well. E25, a nasty tank destroyer out in the field. Okay, there are 4 tanks down at the moment, and that E25 is facing off against an IS. That's the reason we can't see the E25. He doesn't want to expose himself because he would be taken out by the IS. But the enemy has effectively occupied all of the town, and there's 3 Arties, 2 mediums and a heavy left in their team. And of course the heavy's out in the field defending them from that E25. Okay, there's a Comet's been seen over on the east side, but he's been taken out. Killed by the Leo. And there's the Defender. Or is it the KV-3? It's the KV-3's been spotted. Now Angelina is relocating, but she's headed to the east. She may be trying to use the ridgeline. These bushes don't really offer much in the way of protection, especially when there's a tank on the 0 line. There was one seen on the 0 line, and she's been hit by him. In fact, she was hit by the M40 and the M4A3E8, and that was the tank that was on the 0 line that we knew from the minimap was there. And yes, he just came around the corner, so he must have seen her looking down the 0 line. You have to look at your minimap to see if there's any enemy in the area you're relocating to, just in case you position yourself incorrectly. And unfortunately, Angelina has been seen and taken out. And I don't think it'll be long before the rest of the team folds, because there's only 3 left and there's still 8 of the enemy. Oh, and that FV207 is a very bad player, because he's just drowned himself. Make a note of his name and report him. We don't drown ourselves, we fight to the end. Always. Look at that M12. He's back to the water, but he's still fighting. He's using the water edge as a shield to protect himself, but he's no intention of drowning himself. He intends to fight. Keep fighting. He may be taken out by this T-44, but again he's and he's been taken out in the water. He didn't drown. I think he actually, yeah, he was destroyed by the FV-304, so at least he fought to the end. But this FV-207 should be reported. And unfortunately that was a loss. So at least she tried, and you got some really good hits in there, Angelina. I love that hit on the Hellcat. Even though it was a stun hit, it certainly got you all the hit points in the form of stun assistance. And we can see that you at least managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, you got 6, and that's all that you got in that battle and in terms of awards. But you did 556 hit points of damage, and unfortunately you didn't get any kills, so that puts you way down the table there. But you did pick up 317 base experience points, and that puts you 3rd on that list. You fired 8 rounds, got 1 direct hit, 1 penetration, 7 splash damage. You did damage of 556 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. You received 2 hits, one from the M40 and one from the M4. You hit 5 of the enemy, but you didn't kill any. But you did do 1,138 hit points of stun assistance and got 8 stuns in total. You earned 20,403 credits, and you must have had some spare ammunition because there was no ammunition resupply there. And you received 317 experience points, and there was no multiplier, so that's all that you took away. So nice try, Angelina, but yeah, as you said, don't go into the water. That FV207 should not have gone into the water. You didn't go into the water, but I think you needed to use the ridge lines, rather like that M12 was trying to do, to actually protect himself from enemy fire. And he still managed to get some shots off, even though he was spotted by the enemy, until he was finally killed by the FV-304. So if you enjoyed this battle, please do give it a like and do subscribe to our channel. And hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next replay.